The following video tutorial is presented by Sunstar Electric Inc. and your submersible motor reseller to demonstrate the proper method for assembling the Hitachi submersible motor to a turbine pump assembly and preparing the pump assembly for install. Thank you for using high-quality Hitachi submersible motors. The Hitachi motor must be properly prepared prior to assembly to the pump and installation. Please view the Hitachi preparation video prior to pump and motor assembly. Place the motor in a stable vertical position. Inspect the coupling bores to ensure they are clean and free of defects. Ensure the spacer plate has no raised faces or indentations. Install the spline shaft coupling on the motor shaft first. All 6-inch NEMA shaft couplings are equipped with a spacer plate in the coupling. 8-inch NEMA shaft couplings can be equipped with or without spacer plates. Align the coupling and shaft splines so the coupling slides easily onto the shaft. Do not force the coupling onto the shaft. Ensure the shaft butts against the spacer plate if installed in the coupling. If the coupling is not equipped with a spacer plate, ensure that the splines in the coupling are fully engaged by splines on the shaft, which are longer. The coupling must fit so that both shafts butt against the coupling spacer plate or against each other shaft to shaft. Remove the coupling and set aside for fitting to the pump shaft. An inspection of the pump bowl assembly and dimensions must be made prior to assembly. This will ensure proper fit and reliable operations. Determine if the pump has an external thrust limiter. This will usually be a threaded bolt or plug in the top central hub of the discharge case. If the thrust limiter is internal, it cannot be reset without partial disassembly of the bowl assembly. This may not be required and will be established by further inspection. If the pump has an external thrust limiter, it must be reset. Loosen the thrust limiter until the rotor has total axial movement without engaging the thrust limiter. Inspect the pump coupling journal for indentations, burrs, or other defects. Ensure that the shaft turns and moves up and down freely. Measure the shaft projection with the shaft in the down position. Ensure that the impellers are seated in the bowls. The proper location for measurement is from the bottom of the pump shaft to the mounting face of the pump's motor mount. Record this result. Measure the shaft projection with the shaft in the full up position. Record this result. The impeller lift and thrust engagement calculation sheet will help confirm that the pump and motor have a proper fit when assembled. Calculate total pump shaft axial movement using recorded dimension. Calculate impeller lift using pump shaft measurements and previously recorded motor shaft projection. Ensure that impeller lift is within tolerances. Calculate interference using total pump shaft movement and total motor shaft movement obtained from the motor preparation inspection. Ensure that the pump thrust limiter does not interfere with engagement of the motor thrust bearings. Install the coupling key into the pump shaft keyway and lower the pump to the motor. Carefully fit the pump shaft into the coupling and lower the pump until the pump flange and motor flange mate. Check that the pump and motor shafts have full engagement in the coupling by verifying that the first stage impeller has lifted the correct distance. Fasten the pump to the motor and properly tighten the bolting. Tighten the coupling set screws. Recommended torque values for number 10 to 5/16 set screws is 40 to 60 inch-pounds. Reinstall the suction strainer and cable guard per the pump manufacturer's recommendations. The unit is now ready for splicing power cable to the motor leads.